You guys may or may not have noticed, but I have like a sort of bookshelf over here. So let's explore every single book that I own. I figured the best way would be to put everything in this large basket. So there's like a bunch more books right here. Alright, so I have changed my clothes, and as you can see there is already quite a lot of books in front of me right now. But I did go to Kinokuniya, an international bookstore in Indonesia, and it's closing down. So I was like, you know what, let me go there and buy some books for the final time. And let's pull out my purchases right here. My mom said I had a budget of 500,000, which is approximately $40, I guess. And that nets you about 2 books. Or if you're really pricey, you can get like 1 book for 500,000, which is absolute insanity. But this is what I bought. Is this upside down? It is upside down. Oh god. I bought Black Leopard and Red Wolf by Marlon James. The cover looks really, really cool, which is why I bought it. And apparently Neil Gaiman, if you can see in the back here, Neil Gaiman commented on it. I was like, you know what, if Neil Gaiman commented on a book, I'ma buy it, because that man was the first introduction to like literature. Because in grade 7, grade 6, I don't know, in one of the grades we had to read The Graveyard by Neil Gaiman, and I was like, man, this is kind of a good book, even though it's for school. So you know what, Neil Gaiman, I can trust him. And the other one is I bought a manga. I really wanted to buy B-Stars, because they had B-Stars in English. And I was like, you know what, do I buy B-Stars? It's 200,000. But nah, I bought this one instead. Kusuriya no Hitorigoto, or The Apothecary Diaries by... I don't know who it's written by, but I do know that the author and artist are 2 separate people, because this was originally a light novel? Or it was originally a normal novel, and then they made a manga series out of it. But look at that. The art is absolutely gorgeous. I have not even opened this yet. I cannot read Japanese, but I told myself if I saw this in bookstores, I would immediately buy it. So I'm sorry, Paru Itadaki. I'm sorry, B-Stars. But, you know, let's start. I'm gonna clear out all these books, and there's a bunch more books behind me. And we'll start with the manga. So, starting with the manga, as you guys have seen already, Kusuriya no Hitorigoto, let me put that aside. Next up, we have Smile Down the Runway, Act Age, and it's all the way on the bottom here. We have Spy X Family. Now, I bought all of these at the same bookstore, which is Gramedia. As you can see, like the styles of these 2 volume covers, they're kind of similar. And there is a reason for that. It's because the publisher is the same company. It's MC. I'm sorry, it's MC, as you can see over here. And each of these cost about 24,000, while one of this thing, Spy X Family, this cost 48,000. Literally double the price of this. Like this volume is equivalent to 2 of these volumes. And I was wondering why, like, because I bought this first, like, oh, a volume in Indonesia costs 48,000. Okay, I want to buy it because I love Spy X Family. And then the next day, I went there again. I was like, you know what, I want to buy other manga. And at that time, I just finished reading Smile Down the Runway, so I really wanted to own a copy of it. So I did. And I saw that they had Act Age also. And I'm like, you know what, let me buy it. Even though the author did some questionable things. The art is still good. I can still support the artist. I think the artist gets a cut of the money if I buy it. So you know what? I bought it. And when I cracked these guys open, I understood why Spy X Family was literally double the price, because the quality of the book it's not very good. I mean yeah, it's a volume of manga, you know, who cares, but the quality of the pages isn't as good as this one. Like, if you hold it in your hands, like, you can obviously feel that this is the superior, high-quality version. The paper feels good, the cover feels solid. This cover, it feels, I don't know, like, the cover feels harder on this one instead of this one. This is just all very flimsy. Like I can do this no problem, but this one it's more difficult. I should say. I don't know how to explain it, but Spy X Family, very high quality volume. While these other two, it's not really. While the Spy X Family one, it is published by a different one. It's published by LX Media, like about here. It's published by LX Media. So if I were to continue buying manga from Indonesian bookstores, I would find the ones published by LX Media first. The quality is way better. Of course, it's more pricey, but you know what? I think it's worth the price rather than having these flimsy volumes. Next up, we have my Pokemon collection. I did not buy these in Indonesia. When my family took me to Malaysia for holiday, I would go to Malaysian bookstores and buy, you know, a copy of Pokemon Black and White. At the time, when I bought this, I did not know what the heck manga was. Like, the concept of manga was foreign to me. I saw they had Pokemon Black and White comics, and I was like, you know what? I want this. I want Pokemon Black and White comics. I bought from the first one until Volume 7. As you can see, we have Volume 1 until Volume 7. I am missing Volume 2 for some reason, and I'm not sure where it went. But I remember reading this, and I was like, you know, the names are kind of weird. Like, the main characters' names are just named after the series. So like this guy is black and this guy is white, I think. If I'm not wrong, that should be right. Yeah. If you can see from this thing, this person's white, this person's black. They both have tappings. And as I got older, I realized that they did this for every single generation of Pokemon. And I finished reading Pokemon Red and Blue, Pokemon Adventures, the first generation. I finished reading that. And I think I started reading Pokemon Yellow, but I didn't finish it yet, and I should pick that up. But I need to restart because I forgot where the story went. And a total, you know, every single Pokemon, that is basically like 100 chapters, I would say, for each generation. And there's been 6 generations so far, if you don't count Sun and Moon. So that is already 600 chapters that I need to read if I were to. So I'm putting that off. And next up, we have my Ruby manga. We have the manga anthology. I'm pretty sure I've talked about these at some point or another. The one with Blake from Shadows, it is still in plastic. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's in plastic. Very shiny. Well, these guys, I already opened them. I've read them already. And I do have one more. On my bed here. We have the original Ruby manga. I don't know why they made this, honestly. Because it's just a rehash of the original Ruby. Well, at least like the manga anthology, they add to the slice of life element of Ruby. But this one is just like a retelling of the first 8 chapters of Volume 1. And they didn't even continue it anymore. I think they're making a new one again, but I'm not sure about that. But the art style is pretty cool. I really like it. This is quite pricey. I mean, look at that. Oh, look at the art. Ruby being a manga is really awesome to own, you know. Look at how they draw Ruby and Weiss. Oh my god, look at that. Just look at that. Even though I do feel like they didn't need to make this, I'm glad they did, and I'm glad I own it. Alright, next up we have the Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel series. There are 6 books in these series, and I think there's 2 additional side stories, which is Billy the Kid in Las Vegas, and I don't know, there's one more. Now, I bought these all the way back in 6th grade, as you can see, and I don't know why. I mean, the cover, it spoke to me. It was like, actually, you need to buy this cover. It looks really good. And I read the first one, and I was like, you know what? I'll pick up the rest of the series. And then I read the second one. It's like, you know what? Let me pick up the third one. I was like, I finished the third one. Might as well buy all these 3 all at the same time. So I own each copy, you know, in the series. I've read all of it, but I honestly can't tell you what the story is. I remember really enjoying it. It introduced me to a bunch of mythical creatures, or like people of legend. I'm pretty sure like this introduced me to Skathak, which I found out is a character on FGO, so that is probably a person of legend. There's also Hecate, which I think is the Greek god of magic, although do not quote me on that. I don't know if that's true or not. There's a bunch of creatures here like the Quetzalcoatl, There's a bunch of stuff that I already forgot, but I remember really, really enjoying the series. I think the ending was a bit weird for me, although I don't remember what the ending is. I just remember the feeling. I was like, really? That's the ending? All right. Out of 10, I think I'd give this a solid like 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed reading it, and I still have my old bookmarks. That someone made for me in grade 6. Like someone like drew this for me. For every single one of these books. Oh dear lord. And for some reason, I own like 2 copies of The Magician. I don't know why. I guess I thought I lost this one, so I bought a new one. But I also have another copy of The Sorcerer, so I guess the same thing must have happened. So, you know, I have 2 copies of these now. And when I went to Kinokuniya yesterday, I saw that they were still selling this series with different volume covers. And, you know, I'll show these on screen, but, you know, I was surprised to see them at Kinokuniya. I bought these back in, like, 2013. Like, as you can see from the price tag. 2013. And these cost 100k each. Pretty pricey. Alright, next up we have some books that I recently bought, and by recently I mean like a year ago, 2 years ago. This one was given to me on my birthday by my cousin, so thank you for buying this for me. I have not opened it, as you can see. It is still in the plastic packaging. I will read this when I feel like reading, because I bought this, and as you can see, I'm only halfway through, and I am using the bookmark that I bought from the Merge series. So if you guys have not checked out that video, check it out. It's like over here or over here. But yeah, I'm using the bookmark. I'm like halfway through. I have not read this for a couple months now. I also bought this one, The Wild Magic Trilogy. Begone the Raggedy Witches. Now, I picked it up because it says Ireland's answer to J.K. Rowling. So I thought it would be pretty good, and as you can see, it's kind of rough already. And it's because that I didn't really care so much about the story. I went to like chapter 2, and I was like, I'm not gonna read this anymore. But this one though, Orphan Monster Spy. Let me read you the summary on the back. Sarah has played many roles, but now she faces her most challenging of all, because there's only one way for a Jewish orphan spy to survive at a school for the Nazi elite, and that's to become a monster like them. Survive, deceive, resist. They think she is just a little girl, but she is the weapon they never saw coming, with a mission to destroy them all. And look at the fucking tagline, bro. A teenage spy, a Nazi boarding school, the performance of a lifetime. Like, holy shit. You read that and you're like, I wanna see where this story goes. So the story is basically, there's this 14-year-old girl named Sarah. Is it Sarah? Yes, it is Sarah. And she is a Jew living in Nazi Germany when Hitler took power. And she's trying her best to escape her country when she meets this guy. And this guy, you know, saves her, and stuff happens. And now she is a orphan monster spy. I read until about halfway, and that is when she actually gets into the school. So like from chapter 1 until chapter 8, she's not in school yet. So I don't know how much I can talk about this without getting too much into spoilers. But, you know, I think this is a pretty good book. Apparently, it won a book award in 2018. So you guys should definitely check this out. For this one, I feel like this would be a good starting book to get your kid or like your very small sibling, like around age 10 to 14. Maybe they would be interested in a book like this, but I don't know. I'm not interested. Should I read the synopsis now? You guys can just read it for yourself. Alright. Next up, let's talk about kids' books, shall we? Because I was a kid, and I owned a lot of books. The first one we have here is a Pokemon Black and White pocket comic. As you can see, when they made Black and White merch, I went to the bookstore a lot, and that's why they have a bunch of these. So it's a bunch of 4-panel comics right there, and they have questions on the side, and you can answer it. And they made one comic for each Pokemon available in Pokemon Black and White. Although, you know, if you want to read this for a good story, that's not what you buy this for. You buy this for like, yeah, it's a Pokemon thing. Maybe my kids will like it, maybe my siblings will like it, but you know, in hindsight, it's not really worth it. We got Despicable Me 3. This is owned by my brother. I have not read this, and I will not read this, but I own it nonetheless. Now we have this magnet playbook, which cost 100,000, and it's not worth it. They literally, it says they have 8 magnets inside, which is like this thing, and all you do is just you stick it onto this thing, and that's it. There's like 4 settings, and that's it. We have a Minecraft guidebook. Again, my brother bought this back when he was really into Minecraft. I think you guys have seen this before. Minecraft guidebook. This is for combat specifically. I've never read this, but I don't think my brother read this either. He just bought it, and now we just own it. It's just left in the dust. We have the 13-story treehouse. I don't remember how I got this, honestly. It's not. I mean, I guess it's a book. There's a lot of pictures here, so very Geronimo Stilton-esque. I think I bought like a magazine, and this came in it. We got Katie Kazoo Switcheroo, the Tip-Tappin' Mom. It is a very short story. It is only 60 pages, and the font is very big. So I remember I quite enjoyed this story. And that's all I can say, really. Again, buy this for your kid or your sibling. We got Pokemon World of Sinnoh. Now, I think this is just like a traveler's guide to Sinnoh region. Like, if you're a tourist and like, oh, these are all the spots in the Sinnoh region, like this place, or this place. Like, look, it's Eterna Forest and all that jazz. Next up, we got Gravity Falls. Again, I did not own this. As you can see, my brother's name is on it, so he bought this. This cost 200,000? Really? Damn, that's actually quite expensive. I don't know what this is, so you know, I'll just show it. I don't know what this is, but I guess I own it. I don't remember buying this, so I guess this is something my mom bought. This cost $18? Holy crap, dude. $18. We have another Ronald Dahl book, The Witches. How to Cheat a Dragon's Curse. Again, I don't remember buying it, but apparently I have it like in my house, so, you know. We got Hoot. It is a motion picture, apparently. And last but not least, we have these 2 weird books. I didn't buy this, but I have it. So, someone bought it, and now it's in my house. You know, a lot of these books, it's like, you know, I don't remember buying it, or I didn't buy it, but I own it, so. Let's go with more children's books, shall we? We got the Geronimo Stilton series. This is Thea Stilton, this is Thea Stilton, more Thea Stilton, this is backwards, Thea Stilton, this is actually Geronimo Stilton, okay. This is, what is this? This is Geronimo Stilton 2. This is Thea Stilton again. And this is another Thea Stilton book. And this is the Thea Stilton big book. So, I guess when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, fuck Geronimo Stilton. Nah. Show me the Thea Stilton books, baby. Show me these 5 besties. I remember reading all of this. I don't remember the story of any of it, but you know, it's pretty good. I have the PSP game for Geronimo Stilton somehow. Yeah, that's all there is to say about Geronimo Stilton. It's a children's classic. I mean, come on. Every kid back in 6th grade, 4th grade, they were reading Geronimo Stilton, okay? And I just jumped on the bandwagon, you know? Alright, next up, we have English literature books that I had to read for school. Alright, let's get the obvious one out of the way. We got Madame Bovary. I made a whole video about this. It got a lot of views for some reason. And I kind of regret making that video because now that I rewatch it, it's like, oh man, I was pretty cringe, and I don't remember how much I talked shit about it, but I hate this book. The text is so small and it's really thick. Right, next up, we have Things Fall Apart. Now, I don't think I read this book actually. As you can see, it's still in plastic. So I don't know why I own this book if I didn't read it. Because I also owned a Kite Runner, and that's also for English, but I don't remember reading it. I watched a movie in class, and that's it. I didn't actually read this book. So, you know. Next up, we got Death of a Salesman. Apparently, this is a play, and this is like the playbook. And I don't know, I quite like this one. I hate it now because I have to analyze it, but like watching the actual like play or movie, it's actually really, really good. So, you know, props to Arthur Miller, the guy who made this. Alright, next up, we got The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and holy crud. This was a very, very uncomfortable read. Not because the story's bad or, you know, the topics they discuss. It's very, I don't know, I wasn't very comfortable with it, but I finished it nonetheless. And this is the book that I bought. And somehow I have a photocopied version that is like, look at the size difference of this thing. And like, there's a lot of space in the book, so you can write on it if you want to. Like, if you see this, like there's quite a bit of space here, so you can write on it. And that's what my teacher did, because my teacher also owned like a photocopied version, and he can write on it. While here, like as you can see, like the space is quite small when compared to this one. So, you know, Margaret Atwood, I think she's a really good writer. There's an original series again based off of this, and when I went to Kinokuniya yesterday, I did not see The Handmaid's Tale being sold, but I saw a bunch of other Margaret Atwood's books. I read The Hatchet for 8th grade, I think. This is not the book that I bought that when I read Hatchet. This is just some random 8th grader's book in my school. They were throwing it out, and I was like, hey, can I have this? And I'm like, sure, just take it. And look at this cover. The cover is so cool. I remember reading Hatchet, I was like, man, this is actually like a pretty good story. And this is partly what inspired Jack's journey, which is something I wrote back in 8th grade. I was like, you know what, let me write this. I also have The Last Sherlock Holmes. Now, I did not really enjoy this one, honestly. Honestly, can't tell you why. There should be another one of these, which is the Christmas Carol, with Ebenezer Scrooge, but I guess I lost the book. But, you know, it doesn't matter. These are all the English literature books. And now we have the Indonesian literature books. Woo! We got number 2. Or it looks like an S or a 5, but it is number 2. Again, I did not remember reading this, but I think this is about either badminton or tennis. Now, Puya Kapuya, I actually did read this. It is very heavily focused on a culture in a very specific part of Indonesia. I don't really remember the culture, but I know that there's a very expensive funeral thing that they do. Like, they literally spend like an exorbitant amount of money for this funeral service. There is a lot of bulls involved and the killing of bulls, because the more bulls you kill, it's like the more spirit bulls that help bring the deceased spirit into heaven or something. This book is also very graphic in a lot of different ways. Like, there is a person who raped a baby, I think, and that is the only thing I remember. Someone raped a baby for some goddamn reason. It's pretty messed up, but if you want to give it a read, you can try. Puya Kapuya. Next up, we have Chanting. Now, the volume is quite rough. I do not like the volume at all, like the material, but the quality of the paper itself, it's pretty good. What is this about? Okay, so this guy has a really big family, and he is a batik maker, and batik is a traditional, like, Indonesian clothing. I think I'll show pictures here. But basically, I think the daughter was like, hey dad, I really want to inherit your business. And the dad's like, no, because you're a girl or something. But none of the other kids are worthy enough to inherit the business. And by the end, the daughter proves to the dad, like, look, I have your spirit, basically. I inherited your spirit, your love of making batik. So please let me inherit the business. And she did, I think. It's been a while. Next up, we have Tere Lie's book. This is the author name. This is the one I had to read for 10th grade, 11th grade. I don't know. I don't remember what grade I had to read this for. Oh, 9th grade. There we go. I had to read this for 9th grade. This is a collection of stories written by Terelie. I don't know. I really have no idea how to pronounce their name. I don't remember much about this one. But back in 6th grade, I had to read a different Terelie book, which is Burlian. This is the name of the main character, Burlian. He is a kid from a family of 6, I think, because mom, dad, and four kids in total, including him. So it's a family of 6. And there's actually 4 books in this series. As you can see, there's Burlian, which is the main book that I had to read for 6th grade, and I liked it so much that I bought the sister book, Amelia. So this story is obviously focused on the boy, Burlian, while this story focuses on his sister, Amelia. And the amazing thing about these book series is that because they all take place on the same timeline, just from different perspectives. So like an event that happened here, we can see the same event happening from a different point of view in this book. And there's 2 other books. We have Pukat, and we have Eliana, Pukat and Eliana. So there's 4 books in total. And when you buy it, you get a fucking custom bookmark. What the fuck? And when I saw this, I was like, thoroughly fucking amazing author, bro. I got this, I was so fucking excited, and then I was pretty bored because it turns out these are a collection of short stories instead of one long one. Alright, next up we have a bunch of books that I did not buy but I own. And these are all part of the same series. As you can see, it is Artemis Fowl. I have a bunch of Artemis Fowl books. I think there's a movie made about Artemis Fowl, but I don't know. I've never read a single one of these. I don't know where these came from because I asked my mom. She said I never bought this. And I said, well, I didn't buy it either, so I don't know where this came from. So we have a bunch of Artemis Fowl books. Now we got a bunch of books from Anthony Horowitz. Apparently this is the Alex Rider series. This is the 4th book, Eagle Strike. We got the 5th book, Scorpia. And we got Archangel, the 6th book. Alright, we're blazing through these really fast. Now, Beyonders. Now, this is something I actually bought, but I only read the 1st book, and it was really, really hard for me to get past the 1st book. And I thought it would be a good idea to pick up the fucking 2nd and 3rd book. This is the 2nd one. This is the 3rd one. I think I bought it because the fucking cover looks sick, but man, I could not get through any of these books, bro. Like, I think I read the 1st one, and the 1st one I was like, you know what, I can really get into this. And then I started reading the 2nd one, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think this is for me, and I don't think I ever, like, read the 3rd one. As you can see, the bookmark is in the middle of the book, so I didn't finish this. And the bookmark here is at the end, for some reason. I don't know why. But the Beyonders, I don't remember what it's about. I think it's an isekai, but not like the power fantasy type isekai. It's like this guy who has been isekai. Literally everyone wants to kill him, and it's very difficult for him to survive. He cannot trust a lot of people. He needs to go to secret locations where they can't find him, and everyone is out to get him. And that's all I fucking remember. Alright, we got a couple more books left. Let's tackle the ones I have not read / I did not own. This one, the Benedict Society. I don't know how I got this, but I have it. Seraphina. Now I actually remember buying this, and I think I got like a dragon bracelet that you can put on your hand. And this book is very political, I think. It tackles a bunch of stuff that I did not understand when I was in 8th grade. But if I were to read this again, I think I would really enjoy it. Very, very political. Not for 8th grades, not for young people. Maybe if you're like about 16 or 18, maybe you can appreciate this kind of stuff more. This one, don't know what this is, but I have it. This one, don't know what this is, but it looks ominous, and I have it. This one, I don't know what this is, and it looks pretty boring. This one, looks super boring. Alright, next up, we have books written by Rick Riordan. Oh god, let me put this aside. In all honesty, Seraphina, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Alright, Percy Jackson, we got The Lightning Thief. When I read the Percy Jackson series, I did not own any of them. I borrowed it from my friend who owns it back in 6th grade. And when I was like scrounging through the bookshelf, apparently I owned The Lightning Thief and The Sea of Monsters. So, I think I just skipped these two. Honestly, when I was reading it, I went straight to book 3 because I watched the movies. And after I read like the books, I was like, man, the movie is absolute fucking garbage, bro. So we got the 2 books from the Percy Jackson series. Now we got the Heroes of Olympus series. I actually remember buying this, and I was like, wait, what's the difference between this one and the Percy Jackson series? And after reading it, I was like, oh, it's a completely different cast of characters. Now it's the Prophecy of the Seven. And I think I read all the books in the Hero of Olympus series, and I quite enjoyed them. I also have Son of Neptune. I do not like this style of cover. I don't like these covers either. But this one, I really like this cover. It's clean, it's sick. It doesn't get all up in your face, you know, like, oh, look at me, I'm shiny. But this one's like, you know, the art is good. It's not the focus. Lost Hero. Boom, that's it. While this one, it's like, oh, Minotaur, oh, shiny. It's like, you know, I'm not into this. This one, way better. Now, we got the Kane Chronicle series. I picked up the first book. I really like the cover for this one. And I read it, and I think I quite enjoyed it, although I was quite confused sometimes. And then I bought the second one, and I hated myself. Like, why the fuck did I buy this one? This has all the problems of this cover, but I bought it anyway because it was the only copy I could find, and I did not really enjoy the story, so I did not pick up the third one. And last but not least, we have the Trials of Apollo. This is still in plastic, and I have not opened this yet because I was like, yeah, am I really gonna read this? It's like, I bought it anyway, so maybe I will, I don't know. I'm sure someday I'll read Trials of Apollo. Alright, next up. I'm not even gonna clear these. Let's stack them. We got the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. I own 2 of them. Don't remember much about it. I know that the text is really big and there's a lot of pictures. As you can see, a lot of pictures. I think there's a movie made of it. 4 out of 10. I have a bunch of books in the same style. I don't know. I think these are all separate stories, and they're part of like the same series or something. I don't know. It's a bunch of kids' books, I'm pretty sure. Let me preface this by saying all of this Harry Potter books my mom bought. Okay, let's start with the first one in the series. You got the Chamber of Secrets. My mom was a huge Harry Potter fan. This one is in Indonesian, as you can see. The art is also pretty old, and as you can see, the book, it has decolored. Next up, I think, Prisoner of Azkaban. These are in order that I own them. This is also in Indonesian. Also, you know, soft cover books. We got Goblet of Fire. This is also in Indonesian. Now we got the fucking big boy hardcover books right here. These are, you can fucking kill someone with this, okay? Now we got the Deathly Hallows, which is the last one. What is next? I think the next one is the Order of the Phoenix. This is number 5. Now, having hardcover books, it sounds like a good idea. And if you want to fucking transport it, the fucking paper goes everywhere, bro. Look at this shit. What the fuck? Is this in English? This is in English. These 3 are all in English. Well, these ones are in Indonesian. Well, you may be noticing my frustration because I have to look at this bitch. Look at that. I have to. Oh my god. Now, you may infer that I am not the biggest fan of J.K. Rowling, and you know, there's a couple of reasons for it. You know, like the fact that she's transphobic, the fact that she adds meaningless lore on Twitter, which honestly, if she kept doing that and not became transphobic or not expose herself as being transphobic, I was like, you know, maybe I can get behind Harry Potter, but now because I know that she is a terrible, terrible person, I cannot condone Harry Potter anymore. Harry Potter as a series is dead to me, even though I really enjoyed a lot of aspects that it brought to the table, like the fact that there's different houses, there's fucking, you can split your soul and put it into an object, whatever the fuck that's called. There's a lot of problems with the plots and stuff, but you know, I was able to put that behind, and you know, she's a fucking terrible person, and I wish that someone could take these books off my hands for a reasonable price. These three are hardcover. These guys are softcover but Indonesian. So if you want the books, hit me up. I'm willing to sell these at 300k per book, and this one's like maybe 150k a book. Yeah. Now let's end this off with a happy note on a lighter note. We have fucking Rosanna Pansino's Nerdy Nummies cookbook. Oh man, when I was into baking, I was like, man, I love Rosanna Pansino. She's really pretty also. And I was like, she's making a cookbook. I can make all the shit that Nerdy Nummies made. I'm like, oh my god. And then turns out I'm really shit at baking, and I cannot decorate for the life of me. And half the ingredients and half the measurements that she's using is not for Asian people. And I never ended up actually using these. So I am, kind of sad about that. Nerdy Nummies, it's a really good book. Very solid. Like, honestly, the quality of this book is really good. And if you go, like, page by page, the quality of the pages is also really good. And the quality of the images is also really good. So, honestly, it's a good purchase if you actually want to bake. But if you're not gonna bake, don't buy it. And, I think that's it for this video. I've talked for I don't know how long, like organizing all these books up into this room. Like I had to bring the books from downstairs to upstairs, and that's a lot of books. And honestly, I'm really tired and my voice is dying. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment on, I don't know, maybe you've read one of the books that I did not read, or maybe one of the books that I used to read and don't remember anymore. You have some thoughts about that. But anyway, have a fantastic day. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Also, just before I leave, look at my t-shirt. Look, it's a kitten unicorn. A rainbow kitten corn.